CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Alrighty, welcome back. Great to have you with us on CountryWide Connect today. Yes, hunting. I know a lot of people love to get out and hunt in the great outdoors in New Zealand, but sometimes getting access to private land in New Zealand is a little bit difficult. Farmers, particularly, understandably wary of red tape, liability issues, and, let's just say some past negative experiences. Enter Huntable, a newly launched Airbnb-style platform designed to bridge that gap by giving farmers total control over who accesses their land while making it easier for responsible hunters to find opportunities. Joining us to explain this and how Huntable works are Huntable co-founders Mitch Tucker and Gail Radburnd. Welcome to the program. Hey guys, welcome. Gail and Mitch, Airbnb for hunters. How does it work? Gail, tell us.
So I guess effectively like the Airbnb, farmers can choose to launch their properties with us, obviously no charge for that. They keep full control over their listing, deciding what their availability is, what's available to be hunted, and actually also get to decide who comes on their property via the profiles of the hunters. And then the hunters themselves sign up for the subscription with the company. They create their profiles themselves, which says a bit about them, because for the farmers, they're not coming onto a bit of land, they're coming onto their homes. Yeah. So the farmers get to view these profiles and see that, you know, they've been hunting for a few years, what their experience is, and it helps build that bit of relationship between the hunter and the farmer before meeting as well in person.
So Mitch, I suppose the app itself has got, a whole lot of information from the farmers, landowners and the hunters themselves. Does it take care of all the health and safety and all the permissions and all that sort of info built into the app for each property?
Absolutely. So essentially our hunters go through their verification process, which includes quite a rigorous sort of bio build-out that they have to go through and complete as part of that. We also are running for the first 100 hunters that sign on with the subscriptions, we're actually going to personally call them and run through a personal process in regards to their vetting, which will help us build out a more rigorous process that they follow that's automated down the line. With the farmers, they get all that core information about those hunters, that experience, their background, so they can sort of pick and choose yes or no to those bookings being brought through. They also have the ability with the farmers to set their own specific guidelines, or farmer rules that we've called them, that might be unique to what their needs are or what the requirements are on the property. And when hunters come through, they actually have to, as part of that process, accept those guidelines as well as the standardised ones that we have with them.
So, Gail, what sort of properties or hunting opportunities, landowners' properties are actually on the app?
So currently we've got a big list of ones being built in the moment. We have some live on our listing. So for example, I have a property in Hawke's Bay called Ngāpua, and for a Kintab it's a bit crazy to comprehend the fact that he's like, come shoot 6 deer a night and there'll be plenty more the next day. So we're making sure we choose these quality properties. We want quality hunters, so we need quality properties for them where they are likely to see sign and get something.
So you're going to go on there, you're going to pay this, you're going to get on there, and you're very likely to get yourself some meat or actually get a trophy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a property where your dad saw a deer as a kid, so there's definitely deer there type situation. It's one where you should come out and actually walk away with something for the table.
Mitch, what about the properties themselves? Are we just talking about hunting opportunities? Is there accommodation options? What can, if someone's signing up, what do they get?
Absolutely. So the great thing about this is that because we have put that Airbnb style booking element to it, we're now seeing that farmers are building batches or they're building sort of hunting locations where accommodation is available. So it's a wide range of options. You could be looking just a local farmhouse, you could be looking up to a 3 or 4 room villa somewhere. It's really up to them what they want to make available. They set the costs, the amenities that are available in that area. They really got a lot of options to host, and so hunters have the ability now to potentially take their kids out on a hunt but still have somewhere nice to stay.
What about, just thinking out loud, like a farmer might be struggling with pests. Can he just get someone to come in and do pest control effectively, say wallabies or rabbits or whatever?
Yeah, so that's the whole basis for Huntable. It's helping out the farmers deal with the pest issue whilst generating an additional income. So you could come out for a day hunt, shoot a bunch of wallabies, shoot a bunch of rabbits, whatever you've got on property you decide, and you can have it set as just a day hunt only property if you don't have the accommodation there.
Okay. And Mitch, I guess, without getting too into the nitty-gritties, there's a lot of health and safety issues, but there's also firearms issues, right? We talk quite a lot about firearms issues on CountryWide Connect. Is there verification on that or is that up to the hunters themselves to make sure all of their licences and all their firearms and everything are up to scratch with the regulations?
So as part of that verification process, they do have to upload 2 forms of ID, one of them being a firearms licence. Now, with that vetting process, they are put through sort of some testing and some key questions around firearm safety, as well as farm rules and general etiquette on a farm. So we do include that in that process.
Okay. And what's the response been like so far from? Because what stage are you at? Have you actually launched and got people out there hunting, or are you still in that kind of launch stage?
So I would say we're in pre-launch. So we opened up the platform to people to start jumping on, filling out their bios, giving feedback while we started increasing those farm accounts. So obviously our core focus at the moment is creating great property listings, and that means we're networking with farmers, talking more with community groups, and bringing them on board. For the hunters, they've been able to play with it, give feedback on maybe issues. So it helped us bug fix a few things along the way. We're hoping to actually look at launching in the next probably 2 to 4 weeks. So that's the core focus. Now, the key thing really is that we want to make sure that hunters are well verified and the farmer quality is there. So we're feeling very confident within the month.
All right. And you said, Gail, that there's been good uptake from farming or from farmers wanting to have hunters come onto their property.
Yeah, so we've had some really great feedback where it's really good at this key stage as well. We're able to talk to the farmers, and if there's features they want to see, we can discuss them and look at building them out in the future, which is really handy by take on that feedback and act upon it. The farmers themselves, I guess it's hard because it's trying to find the best time to do stuff, which when the sun's out, you're making hay, and when it's raining, normally that's when the stock are calving or lambing. So it's just trying to get that key time in between. But the good thing with our system is the farmer can jump on their computer at night and have a play around with the system and start building their listing themselves. They don't need us to hold their hand through the whole way, although I'm always there to hold their hand if they need, because technology is always a bit of a fun one sometimes.
Yeah, I guess the Airbnb style. So do you have built into it, Airbnb has the rating system? Do you have that ability for farmers to rate the hunters and for hunters to rate the properties?
100%. So something that we've had from the community feedback while doing the build is the fact that farmers and hunters wanted the ability to leave reviews, which is fantastic, but they also wanted the ability to send internal messaging with that review back to the Huntable team. So if there's something that they wanted to leave a note, bit of feedback during that hunt from either side, we can get that as well, and we can discuss that with both parties.
When it comes to the farms pricing, how do you work that out? Because it would be different. How do you work out the pricing? I mean, does the farmer just say, "Hey, I want to charge X to have these guys come in"? Because there's a big difference between coming out and blowing away a few bunnies and actually going and getting a trophy stag.
So with that, we do let the farmers decide the price. I can advise them and go on average, this is what they're charging to hunt deer. And then we do let them charge the price. So I've got some farms that have just a big issue and they want everything gone. And they're like, we want people out. We don't care what we get from it. We just want this pest gone. So that's when I'm like, well, look, if you want to make it viable, like $50, I've got some farms charging $50 to come through, shoot a pig, shoot some rabbits and get rid of them all, and the odd goat. Whereas a lot of farms with deer are kind of going around that $140 rate. They vary between obviously going, it's $140 per person per day to shoot a meat animal, and some are just pay $140 and smoke as many as you can get.
Because they're just a pest.
Yeah, they're just a pest, that's it.
I can imagine some farmers with rabbit problems and hares and wallaby problems don't care.
Yeah, they just take as many as you can get, we want them gone.
Yeah. And the meat animals themselves, so it is, obviously the hunters do get to take the animal. There's probably rules around how they dispose of the carcasses and all of that sort of stuff. That would be in the T's and C's for that property.
So each farm has their own set of farm rules. So some of them, just chuck the guts over a gully or something inconspicuous. Others are, you've got to take everything out. The farmers get to set that for themselves because every farm's so different in terrain and what can be done with it. And the hunters just are aware of those rules when they book the property.
So is the app downloadable already, or you're still in that pre-launch stage?
So at the moment, we are web-based at the moment. We're currently testing and building the mobile version. We're hoping to have that done within the next sort of 3 to 4 months. But primarily our focus was to get the web application up and running Because of that limitation at the moment, when people make a booking, we'll be sending through PDFs with a detailed breakdown of the maps, the hazard zones, everything else that's being put on the map by the farmer, as well as the core farm rules and core elements that they'll need to take on the hunt. With the new app, we will then be looking at obviously live tracking, the full geofencing element, the ability to heat map and see where things are and where people have been on the property.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, it's interesting because I think there has been some changes to the health and safety rules, or they're coming through as well, about liability changing and a few things, which I think is going to make life probably a little bit easier, because that is one of the issues for the farms, isn't it? To that liability of, the concern about liability.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time as well, you'll find that the farmers, the biggest concerns they've had have been knowing where people have been on their properties too. So if something has happened, there's no trackability, there's no way to really keep an eye on what's going on. So for us, with those changes, it will be interesting to see how they positively affect the ability for hunters to come onto a property for a farmer.
All right, Gail, where do people find it?
So we've got our website, www.huntable.co.nz, and also we will be opening up some Facebook groups as well for the hunting community and for the farming community, just to make it more accessible for conversation with the team. We can share updates as well.
So if you're a hunter and you want to have a go in and register on there, and you'll give them a call, part of that the first 100 obviously, and then farms, if they want to open up, same thing.
Yep, and if the farmers register, I'll be the person that'll be contacting them.
All right, brilliant. Hey, great concept. It's a win-win, looks like to me, all the way around. So I'm sure you'll have some great uptake. Hey, thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, great to have Mitch Tucker there and Gail Radburnd on the program, huntable.co.nz.
CountryWide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam Lamp.